Hey everyone, this is Devin Moreno, and today I wanted to talk to you about why it is that I own 15 houses in the Maryland area, Baltimore mostly, and I still am keeping my job. So, a lot of people obviously want to buy rentals and work on their finances and stuff in order to quit their job. That's the ultimate goal, financial freedom. Well, just to put it short, it's not because I just love my job and I would love to stay with it or anything like that. It actually has everything to do with financing. There is a real practical reason for me to keep my job in my situation, and I want to share my situation with you just in case you might find yourself in kind of a similar boat, or maybe you're thinking, oh, I want to quit my job, and yet you're hearing advice from other investors saying you might want to hold on to that. I'm going to have to give you the same advice. You might want to hold on to your job a little bit longer than you might at first expect. Now, let me first say who this advice doesn't apply to, because for those of you who don't know, I actually am the head of an IT department, and essentially in this job I can work remotely and I can, in a sense, make my own hours. So it's a very, very flexible position. I created this job this way. It wasn't a remote job at all until the pandemic happened, so perfect, managed to take advantage of that, and then it kind of permanently implemented that way. And as far as making my own schedule, I didn't really get to that point until I could convince essentially my old boss at the time to kind of allow us to flex our schedule. So it did take a little bit of work to get to this point. But if you're a person who works a solid 8 hours straight and you're totally exhausted, and by the time you get home, you have to, do a whole bunch of other chores or take care of the kids, okay, then your job might start to cause you a little bit of issues, especially if it restricts you from things that, like, for example, a computer or anything like that. If you don't have access to your phone, which is one thing that my job didn't give me access to, couldn't have my phone, so okay, I had a computer so I could use Google Voice, but these things are essential for managing your business long term. But that's pretty much my situation. I may not fit the mold of most of you, but for those of you who know me in this channel, I started real estate investing about 3.5 years ago, and then I decided to take on doing all this. Didn't know anything, didn't know construction, didn't know real estate, have no family or friends in this business, absolutely knew nothing about any of this. And I made this channel to kind of document that journey. A year ago, I said, all right, I'm going to go ahead and make sure I quit my job by the end of this year. And I could have done that actually around September. My financial freedom number was pretty much already hit as far as kind of a minimum threshold. My expenses are low because I house hack. I actually live for free, which I talk about on this channel. I talk about how to do that and living for free and how I do it. 7 different ways to do it. But because I keep my expenses so low, my financial freedom number is easy to reach. And I ended up amassing 15 houses in that period of time. And I still am keeping my job. So what I ended up finding out was that a lot of lenders don't like lending to real estate investors. Now, this might kind of sound weird. They do, but they don't. You get hard money lenders who are absolutely all for it. But the private money lenders, they kind of feel a little bit skittish about it sometimes because real estate money is so up and down really fast. Like, if you look at my bank account, I will have $100,000 one month, and then the next month it's like almost like gone, and the next month it comes back. This is because of the nature of how the business works. You spend a lot of money on your flips or your renovations, and then after you're done with it, you refinance it or sell it, and then you get a new influx of money, which is, of course, reinvested, and it keeps ebbing and flowing. If you don't manage your business well, your books are going to be all messed up, which I'm going to get to in a second. Also getting through taxes. I kind of messed up my taxes, which is another reason I created a trust issue. But long story short, they want to see consistent income. They want to know that you can always service that debt. What they like about me is that I took half of my income from my job, and then I used that just to service debt. The other half of my income pays for whatever, maybe other expenses that I have, and then I live pretty much purely off of my real estate income or my income from my property management business or any of the other endeavors that I do. So you can operate the exact same way and allow your job to service that debt. That's kind of how we operate. Keep in mind, our expenses are going to be different. As I said, I live for free. Another reason that I decided to keep my job, though, is actually because I kind of, I don't want to say screwed up, but decided not to pay any taxes for 2 years, which Kind of sounds crazy. It sounds like I evaded taxes or I'm going to go to jail or something. But no, real estate allows you to basically defer as much of these taxes as you want. You can effectively pay nothing in taxes if you're a real estate professional, which means that you spend majority of your time in real estate, which if you have a full-time job, you don't, unless you're like a realtor or something. It won't qualify. It can't happen. But even if not, I can write off all of my income, and I decided to do it. Why not? Who wants to pay any taxes? Well, the problem is that banks now, so now we're off the private lenders who want to see that consistent income. Banks are going to look at the returns that my business is making. And unfortunately, paying zero in taxes, in order to say that, I have to say that I made no money. That's not really true. If you look at the BRRRR strategy, a lot of times I renovate with someone else's money. That counts toward my expenses. But when I refinance the property, that's actually a loan that I'm using to pay everyone back and make income. It's a loan that I don't pay because my tenants are paying for that. So ultimately, I make no income but have all these expenses, and therefore I can write off everything that I do. And the banks see it as zero income, and therefore I don't qualify based on my business. Well, if I quit my job, well, I wouldn't be able to qualify with that either. This prevents me from house hacking. This prevents me from doing any vacation rentals, which I'm getting into Airbnbs and buying vacation homes throughout the country. And I'm going to talk about that in future videos. But this prevents me from doing a lot of those financing options. So, okay, the banks now have a problem with me. My private lenders now have a problem with me. So obviously quitting my job is starting to seem like a pretty bad idea, especially considering it's so flexible. I make quite a bit at my job for, a W-2 employee. So it's kind of one of those things we like to call in this industry as golden handcuffs. So if you find that your job is absolutely hindering you from making more money and skyrocketing your business success, then maybe none of this really applies to you. Maybe it's just much more worth it for you to go ahead and pursue that business full time. But you have to make sure you know what you're doing. You have to make sure that you have proven success. Don't just quit your job on a pipe dream of, oh, I'm going to make millions. It doesn't work that way. Operating a business is really hard. And I've been finding that out quite a bit. As the bigger I get, the more all these little things become full-time jobs. Rental registrations and little property management details and maintenance, issues that I have with my properties. All of these are becoming entire operations that I need to basically outsource help for, which I'll be talking about how I ended up doing that. Because I'm at that hump where in order to get bigger, I need employees, but I can't get employees until I get a bigger company and make more revenue. It's a weird thing. Kind of like that whole saying, can't get a job without experience, can't get experience without a job. So I'm stuck in that mode, but I'm getting out of it. I'll share that later. But what's most important for you to take out of this is my books. I kind of wasn't keeping track of things very well, and it's kind of hard to justify quitting my job when my books aren't in order to present to banks and such for business loans. So I would say for any of you starting out in real estate, definitely keep track of your books. You 100% want to do that. I screwed that up, and now I'm suffering for it. I'm pretty much on top of things. Went ahead and got QuickBooks, and I have to get QuickBooks for every company that I have. I'll explain that in another whole video, but essentially now I'm on top of my books. So I've got that going forward. I've been decided to pay taxes last year. Now I'm deciding to pay taxes this year. So I'll be paying taxes. Great. Business is showing now a track record of success. And with my private lenders, although they like to see that income, I'm already mitigating a little bit of that problem where I'm trying to use other sources of loans like, let's say, hard money lenders to actually fund the renovations, all right? I'm not really using hard money lenders, but I'll explain those in other videos. That way, my lenders, my private lenders, don't see my pay or my bank accounts fluctuating like crazy. And so these are little things that you might want to think about before you actually quit your job. Financing will be a little bit harder for you, but I look forward to next year when I can tell you, okay, now I finally quit my job, because unfortunately it is not all about the income that your job produces. Your business is producing. But anyway, if you have any questions about that, let me know, comment below, and I will talk to you all very soon.